Hi everyone, Tracy here from Seed Flinger, where we fling seeds of truth, peace, love, joy, empowerment, and enlightenment. And today's topic is, it's all about the blocks, no trouble. We gotta take it to a whole new level. It's pretty clear this shit ain't real. It's been photoshopped with all our blocks. So to get to the boom boom that we all want, we have to undo these blocks. Two big blocks we're gonna look at today: abandonment and betrayal. Abandonment is that feeling where we have been left stuck to fend for ourselves without support, without love, without knowing. And betrayal is to trust and then to not get the support that we were after in the first place. So they kind of go hand in hand. Sometimes it's better to be abandoned than betrayed, because we actually put our trust in something and then that let us down. And it's supposed to let us down. And here's why. Whenever we put our trust in another person to get support or love or approval or security, then they must let us down, because then it would always come from them and we would never have it within ourselves. So these experiences, as traumatic as they are and as real as they are, serve a purpose to wake us up. One of the things I love about this song, it's all about the bass and the photoshopped part of it, you know, having the body image and knowing that in order to have a perfect body, it would have to be obscured or filled in because it's not genuine. And unless we can tap into the genuine part of us that is full of support, love, and peace, then we have to be fake, because we aren't being our real selves, and our real selves are already complete and total. But the egoic self doesn't feel that way, so it has to get it from out there. So we have learned different tricks of manipulation and seduction and enthusiasm in order to get what we believe would fill us up. We've all fallen for it. There isn't too many people that I know that haven't experienced this. Of course, if you give somebody the ability to make you feel secure and they don't fulfill that, you're going to feel betrayed. And if you were feeling a sense of satisfaction and love, and then somebody left you and they're no longer giving you support or you love, you're going to feel like you were betrayed, because the innocence of the child believes that it comes from outside oneself. And because we're the same as source, in other words, just like an ice cube is the same as water, we have the ability to create the absence of that and experience it as real. So inadvertently or by default or just being programmed, we created the lack of support and we experience that as real. So the same source within us is used to create. So we can create lack or we can create abundance. Either way, we're going to be creating, either deliberately or by default. Most of us do it by default because we don't know what we are. We don't know who we are. We think that we're limited to these bodies and that we were born and that we die. You know, that's the story that we believed as children. And so source to us is outside, as in an image or an old man with a white beard that you get to experience after your death. Nothing can be tapped into while you're here, so you have to live a self-sacrificial kind of life, always denying yourself for the sake of others. And that leads to a lot of resentments and lacks and depression and everything that comes with us not being filled up. You know, if we're always giving away our energy so that other people have, then we no longer have that energy because we've given it away. It's another thing to feel full and then share it. It's a huge difference between giving something and now not having it, and feeling full and sharing it with another, because what you have now can't be lost. So these betrayals and these abandonments, as horrible as they feel, are beneficial to show us that what we're wanting isn't out there. It doesn't come from other people. It doesn't come from circumstance. We will never be satisfied until we can actually tap into the reservoir of this abundance of joy and love and peace and security. Nor should we judge ourselves or beat ourselves up for being so passionate about wanting to get support or so passionate about wanting to get love. It just means passion is a very strong emotion, and we were really serious about needing this support. We just misunderstood where to look to get it, and we all have fallen for it. And in so many subjects, we have fallen for it. Some people are really good at being self-confident in certain areas, and then they lack it in relationships, or they're really good in the business end, and then they don't have the nurturing, so they look for that in their partner, because nurturing is really about kindness, if you think about it. We want to be able to make mistakes and feel love and kindness coming from our own being. We think we misunderstand that if you're kind, then I'll feel good. But I want to experience the kindness. I want to be kind for myself and for others. I want to tolerate my own self as I move along this journey that everyone's on. I mean, like A Course in Miracles says, the curriculum's mandatory, but the time to take it is optional. And so when we experience enough pain, we become more serious to actually find this block, because everything's already in place. Everything is already set in place. That's how loving Source is. We don't lack anything. So the discovery of the blocks is being able to see the blocks and remove the blocks, because the law of attraction, it doesn't operate only for abundance, it operates for lack. And if you hold something in mind that you don't have it, in other words, your aura is now emitting, I don't have it, and so you will attract the not having it, and other people will show you that you don't have it. Sometimes violently they'll show you. And the support that you don't feel that you have will now be, you'll attract very unsupportive people into your life to prove that what you're holding is true. Because we have the ability to create, we have source energy, and you can't get out of this, you can't get rid of it. So we either create abundance, we actually don't create abundance. We either see the blocks, because abundance already is. So the blocks are is just the shadow work that we're doing with ourselves. Yeah, so the truth about betrayal is, anytime I think that anyone betrayed me, I betrayed me. I also betrayed them by wanting them to give me support or love, because it wasn't being summoned from inside the house. And I betrayed myself by making myself powerless in need of it. And that is what attracted somebody to not give it to me. And they don't really, they can't give it to you. I mean, people can support each other, that is true, but they can't give you enough support in order to fill up your house. It's an impossibility. It has to come from inside the house. Sometimes and often we'll confuse a projection. Like, if I believe that I'm not receiving support, yet I support other people, but I'm not getting it, I will feel baffled. So the projection isn't so much that I'm not giving support, the projection is more I'm not getting support. So even though I'm willing to give support to other people, I myself am not feeling it. And so the energy that I'm putting out, it just happens automatically. It's they call it the aura, it's the energy, it's the vibration, it's the frequency that we are emitting is not feeling support. So if I'm not feeling support and I give other people support, it doesn't really do anything to help me out, because it's coming from me. Or another saying is, instead of finding Mr. or Mrs. Right, become Mr. or Mrs. Right. Be the right person. Be the kind of person that you want to be with. So if you spent a lot of time and years becoming the right person, being honest, being a good communicator, dealing with things directly and not procrastinating, and all of these wonderful standards that you've set for yourself, but then you attract somebody that doesn't support you, then you go, well, didn't I become who I wanted to be, and why would I attract someone into my life? And the answer is always that if we don't feel something, it's because there's just another block, and we don't have to leave our partner, or unless they're violently abusive, to undo these blocks. We can do each block one at a time, because I guarantee if you find the block to whatever you're holding in mind that you've believed is coming from a place of lack, if you're not getting it, it's because you're putting out that you don't have it. And because we live in the now, even tomorrow's the now, and in 10 years from now, it'll still be now, and you can only tap into that source energy right now. That's why, you know, the trick of the ego that says, oh, if I do all of this and I get an education and I work really hard, then I'll get my happiness. And if you don't have it now, you won't have it then. You, as a matter of fact, you'll be probably pretty bitter that you did all of that and now you don't have your joy. So it can only be had right now. So the energy, the block has to be seen and owned, because I made it true, you made it true. And then we become less blocked. And when we're less blocked, we're more supported. And even if we have to undo 1,000 blocks, it is worth it, because joy, peace, and love, there is no greater thing in the universe than to have that feeling of feeling like you can't lose, of feeling that love never is lost, the feeling that you always have peace of mind no matter all of the chaotic circumstances that are going on out there. It's the most, I think it's the most valued gift, and it's what I sought to find out for myself, to put into practice. So I don't just say get rid of your blocks. I actually do the work. I look at the blocks and I own them. And the reason that it's checkmate, if you don't own them, you can't just deny them. Well, because I made them true. I bought them and believed them on some level of my being. And you can't Photoshop this stuff. You can't pretend that you're not confident. You just have to own, hey, I don't feel supported. I don't feel loved. I don't feel love. I don't feel peace. And the blocks to the thoughts that we picked up along the way of why you don't feel that way will come to light, and you can see how you actually attracted the very feeling of that, and then people came to mirror it to you. So the more lack of support you feel, the more unsupported out there will actually be, because they can't give you something that you don't already have, and that's why it has to be gotten now. Because the power in the universe exists right here, right now. It's not found in the future. You can't get it from the past. If you can't correct all of your behaviors in the past to try to get it right while you're still putting off, I don't have love, peace, joy, and support. It's just going to keep bringing it to you. So in conclusion, I would like to say that I have compassion for anyone out there that has felt that, you know, that they were in abusive relationships, or they felt betrayed, abandoned, rejected. I too have felt that, and it's horrible. It's so horrible that evolution doesn't allow us to stay there. We really have to find these blocks so that we can be filled up. Because if other people gave us what we were wanting, we would still be powerless. We would never know it came from us. And so they had to abandon us. They had to betray us, because we want to be genuine and authentic, and we want it to come from us. We want it to come from inside the house. And so that is a message worth sharing, and I wish you the best, and see your blocks. I'll try to do more videos on specific blocks and how to undo them. But for now, you have all the power, and peace to you.